We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Trisha Mann Grant.
And I'm Roe Williams, and this is GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com, where we are more than just talk. We are
Heaven's Party
here on earth.
All right.
This is our entertainment edition.
Yes.
Woo, woo. But this has been an entertainment run. We had Discover Your Purpose, and we've had your production that's been going on.
Ferguson, the
it's
musical.
All these powerful. Yes. So shout outs to Pachanda.
Peach. No, actually, everyone has a hard time saying Peach's name, so they call it Peaches for short for those that can't, but it's actually Peach Anda Dubose.
and Timothy Jones. I'll stick with Timothy Jones. Discover Your Purpose.
Timothy Jones was our guest before that. And we had the guys on here. So you know what?
Man Talk.
On the Man Talk edition, we had all the guys from Ferguson. And so I just want to thank everybody that came out. Danny, Daniel, Danny DeLoy,
Reggie.
Daniel, Reggie Miles, and Wallace Demarie, Jamie Parker. Right. All right. I'm proud of you. At least you had it written down.
That was like, yeah. It's like right up there with Jamal Butcher did.
But hey. That's it. Yay! Okay, so yeah, it was great. We had an amazing opening weekend, and opening night was just miraculously beautiful. So thank you, Lord. It was great. We're so grateful. And we're gonna do it again tomorrow night, Friday night. Well, actually. So
you have missed it.
I have told it. Right.
Hopefully the run will continue, and that the NAACP, when they have viewed it, will honor it with an award. It's so timely, and I think that the theme, it seems, that God has been saying is don't give up. You know, in this political climate, you know, people are like, if you don't, like, I'm not voting, I don't vote. If you don't vote, don't vent. You know, even Obama came out. It's like a right that they try to take away from us. So even if you have to just go to the poll, even if you're right at Mickey Mouse, don't exercise your rights. I'm just saying,
some people smart though.
Some people, he's probably smarter than the candidates right now. But I'm just saying, don't just be complacent and sit back. And you know, we want to give some condolences. I know Kevin Whitley, he used to be A&R at the label that I used to work at, Atlantic Records, and Kashif passed away, and he was his good friend. So our prayers for you and Kashif's family.
Kashif worked with Whitney.
Yes, he was awesome Whitney industry legend, and we recently lost him. And then Pittsburgh's own Bill Nunn.
Bill Nunn, who was
sorry.
Yeah, he was Radio Raheem.
Oh my God! And I loved School Days, and he was.
I loved it too. I took my grandmother to see that. I think I was in high school, and I was like, Granny, I want to take you to the movie. I thought I was big stuff, you know, because I had some money and I was treating my grandmother. She fell asleep 15 minutes into the movie. I'm like, really? For real?
I guess she was she wasn't a glam mom. She was really a grandma. Some grandma would have been like, girl.
She's just sitting over there snoring. Not that the movie was bad or anything. She's just tired. You know, it was past her bedtime. I should have thought that one through.
You should have took her to a Denzel flick. She probably
Denzel.
Yeah, with all these
Magnificent
weird enunciations with these
was
names,
Jamaya,
Denzel,
it's Jamie,
noon or none. It's like tomato.
Okay,
help me, Lord. I need to get hooked on phonics.
Take me, Jesus. I need to get hooked on phonics. Touch it now, Lord.
I'm done.
All right, so check it out. Okay, so listen, we have some amazing people in the studio today.
Yes.
We have a dear friend of mine who I have had the pleasure of working with. He wasn't going to hire me for his first play, but it was weird. Check this out. It wasn't weird. It was beautiful. It's like I was standing there auditioning. I was looking crazy, y'all. I really was. Hair was looking crazy. I was just greasy. And the window flew open, and this bird perched upon the windowsill. No, that's so true. It's so true. He can vouch for it. And Cosman Russell said, I wasn't going to hire her, but I think I'm going to go ahead and hire her, because something wonderful happened. It's like the angels of the Lord came into the room and just touched him and said, hire the greasy looking child right there. Go ahead and give her a break. So Cosman Russell, who has written and directed and produced The Marriage, starring Dawn Lewis and Richard Gant and Andre Petrie and Dannon Green and Carlise Burke and Patricia Belcher, Malika Blessing Soror, and Also, Evan Lionel, that's my boy. We love you, Evan, because you hosted our first major show that we did for Gospel Rhythms.
Thank you.
Edwanda, she's a sweetheart, white Carl Gilliard.
Hey, who is that person?
And Toyin Moses, comedian. Oh, Novocaine. Wow, what a name. And Nina, this gorgeous gal, she's in the studio with us today. Nina Zai and all Fitz. I've worked with Fitz many times. Fitz Houston, and of course, Mr. Christopher Richards, who is working with us too on Ferguson. He's a man of many hats and multitasking, and this such is a talented young man. He's phenomenal. Oh, and then Anthony Kenny Brewer is the stage manager, y'all, too. So you can't sleep because he's our stage manager for Ferguson as well. And both these guys. So shout outs to Biblical Films. Yeah, we know you can't see them right now. Yes. And Biblical Films. Lamont, yes.
Rosemary,
we're going to bring them all
Isaiah.
back. So when we come back, you'll be able to see Cosmin and the cast of The Marriage. We're going to take a quick break, a pause for the cause. We thank you so much for joining us.
Please invite people to the party.
Yes, invite folks. Go tweet,
Instagram,
email,
Facebook.
Somebody, knock on somebody's door.
Yeah.
Go holler out down the street or something. Do some ghetto and fun. All right, we love you. Okay,
Facebook
we'll be right back. I'm Trisha Mann Grant.
I'm Roe Williams.
You're watching Gospel Rhythms.
Yeah,
LA Talk Live. All right.
Like Marvin Gaye. Can't you see what's going on? Through it all, gospel rhythm still going strong. Trusting God when it's good or when it's going wrong. Encourage other believers to keep holding on. Casting the vision and we making it plain. We the head, not the tail, so we won't complain. Here to lift up the downcast and the brokenhearted. Changing lives with the truth, so let's get it started. We got the word, music.
Hey, it's Tammy Mack from KJLH's Mac and Amici Show. And yes, I got a little God up in me. And when I get him in me, I go straight to Gospel Rhythms. Oh, I got heaven right here on earth. Heaven's party here on earth with Trisha Mann and Roe Williams. Yeah, listen in. GospelRhythms.com.
Hi, I'm Anna Maria Horsford from The Bold and Beautiful, and you're watching Gospel Rhythms with Trisha and Roe.
Hi, this is Kenny Lattimore, and you're tuned into GospelRhythms.com, Heaven's Party here on earth. Hi, this is Oba Babatunde, and you're listening to GospelRhythms.com, Heaven's Party here on earth.
Many gifts to encourage the body. Consider this an invitation. Come and kick it and party. We're revolving the way we deliver the gospel. Same message.
Hey y'all, it's Jackie Elam, author, speaker, entrepreneur, and Hollywood set mom. Tune in to America Talk Live on latalklive.com every Saturday at 12 noon Pacific to check out my new show, Jackie Elam Live, premiering Saturday, September 10th. I will reveal the world of child performers and various forms of entertainment for all ages. My guest and I are going to empower and educate you with helpful stories, topics, and advice about the showbiz. This is going to be a fun-filled hour, so don't forget to tune in to Jackie Elam Live every Saturday, 12 noon Pacific on latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? I'm your host. I am WDC. Tune in to WDC Radio on LA Talk Live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for sickle cell trait awareness, lupus, bullying, mental health, and all different aspects of life. So tune in to WDC Radio right here on LA Talk Live. Also, you can listen to us on iTunes, Live 365, YouTube, and Ustream. And don't forget Apple TV and Roku right here on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. Shout us out. What's the count?
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez.
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on latalklive.com. Inspirational radio
with a touch of recovery.
A reality show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who says it.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey, welcome back. This is gospelrhythms.com, Talk Live Radio, and LATalkLive.com, Entertainment Edition. I'm Ro Williams.
Hey, I'm Trisha Man Grant.
And we are here to talk about the marriage.
The Marriage, written and directed and produced by Cosmin Russell. So listen, we're going to do something new this time because we want to help our engineer and save his ears and his cameras from shaking. Because last time we had the Ferguson cast on here, they like to knock the table down doing the drum roll thing. So we're no longer going to do that, guys.
We got fired off of that one.
Right. So first, I'd like to, so we'll go around. This is Mr. Cosmin Russell. Welcome, Cosmin, to Gospel Rhythms.
What an honor. What an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here at Heaven's Party right here on Earth. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, I came up with a little tagline.
Okay, what's your tagline?
I don't always party, but when I do, I party at Gospel Rhythms. Stay prayed up, my friend.
I love that. Yeah. You won't hear that again. We own that.
You may have that.
Thank you. All right, and to my left is the beautiful Brittany Keys, social media specialist, right here. Welcome. I see she's shy already. I'm going to have to stick this microphone right in her face.
Thank you, ladies, for having us.
Thank you for being here. And to Rose's right is Miss Carlise, and I don't know if it's Mrs., but I have here Carlise Burke. Is it Mrs. or Ms.?
No, it's not Mrs.
Yeah, she's taking applications. FYI. She's taking applications.
Say it. Speak it.
Yes.
Hi.
And then, now, earlier I spoke this gorgeous young lady's name, and I said it the wrong way, so we must say it the right way.
Me this time.
Okay, it is Nena. Yes.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Nena Zah. Wow, where are you from?
I'm Persian originally.
I knew it. I was going to say, you look like you could be ready to go Kardashian.
What you going to do?
I wish I got Kardashian money.
It's on the way, girl. It's on the way.
She's like, I'm Persian. Like, what's up? All right. And so, Nena, you play what role in The Marriage?
I'm actually Kelly Charles.
Okay.
So I am the main character's cousin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and the main character is, of course, Dawn Lewis.
Who
is? She just booked a series.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah. She's happy.
She could not be here today, but work is always a great excuse as to why. We happy for you, girlfriend.
I understand. We'll have you back when you have some time, okay? And we can
talk about that project
some more. Talk about that project. Okay, and then Ms., soon to be Mrs. Praise Jesus.
We claiming his name.
Wait.
Putting it down.
Can we start dating first? Not you and I.
But we just say
get to the Mrs.
Right. Because there's some Decepticons out there.
I just finished listening to Shonda Rhimes' The Year of Yes. And so it's okay if I don't want to be a Mrs. It's okay, but I like dating.
Okay, I like dating. All right, so I guess that's something we'll have to talk about a little bit later. We're gonna have to stick a pin in that and come back to that.
Okay,
we
can
save it
do
for
that.
another show.
We can do that.
Important because everybody doesn't want to be married right now. Everybody isn't interested in getting locked down for whatever reason.
Locked down.
When you say it like that, I guess I'll pay.
Yeah, really. Me either. That's what I'm going for.
Says the married one.
I'm not
you hear that, Tony?
I'm not like that, baby. I'm very I am happily married. But what I'm saying is, sometimes when you have that mindset toward it, it's because you feel like some people do. They feel like it's a lockdown.
Really now?
Yeah, some people do. You now. We're not even.
I'm not married. I'm just saying.
Miss Carly.
Yes.
Tell us.
Let's talk about the play.
Get away from this subject.
Let's talk about the play the marriage.
Let's jig her out of here.
I don't play the marriage. To the subject after all that.
Well, we do. We want to talk about this marriage.
Let's talk about this marriage. But let's talk about your role first. What is your role?
I play Lucy Charles, and I am the mother of Angelique Charles, played by Dawn Lewis.
Nice.
Yes,
now, is your character married in the?
Yes, she is.
Oh, really?
Oh boy, is she? Now she may be on lockdown.
I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, you might want to come and check out the Charles family.
But you're not playing yourself, was what you're saying. You really playing another character.
There may be moments. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but Lucy's very interesting and complex, and she has moments. She has lots of moments. Angelique Charles, her her situation is inherited.
Okay.
And I'm part of that heritage.
And
We're dealing with
Angelique
mental
inherited
illness.
right.
Mental illness.
And I was
say-
going to get you to like get into that as soon as we got.
I didn't
want
want to give it away.
That's okay.
Right.
That's
I was
okay.
going to say
It's still a
inherited.
journey.
Is it a genetic inheritance or
Yes, it is actually.
financial inheritance?
No, no.
Good.
Not
Too
that
funny.
kind. Not financial.
So Angelique is played by Dawn Lewis.
Yes.
And that's the character name, guys. So that you can get confused with all these names up here. Angelique is the character of Dawn Lewis. And so let's come to you, lovely lady. You're the social media
Guru.
Yes.
guru.
I am
Okay.
here to make sure that all the people out there in the cyber world that are living in LA come and check out our show. By word of mouth, word of tweet, Instagram.
That's right. Knock on the doors.
Hello.
Okay.
So I'm just here to let everyone know that they should follow The Marriage 16 on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
Also follow Cosman Russell's The Marriage on Instagram.
Good.
And we have little sneak peeks. We have some behind the scenes things going
Yeah.
on. Just leading you up into the performance.
Awesome.
That's going to be fabulous on
That is
October
right.
8th.
On October 8th. That's
Now-
right, because we've got a flyer right here. And so that we can introduce everyone properly. And, of course, our writer-director, Cosman Russell. So everybody put your hands in the air so we don't make lots of noise on the table.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so happy
That's
to be
the new
here.
way. All right, Cosman
Yeah.
Russell.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
I had the pleasure of actually being in the staged reading production because, see, you can't just do a stage reading, Cosman. It has to be fabulous. And I was BJ in the staged reading.
And not
years
only were you
ago. Chris,
BJ,
that's where you and I worked together.
You were fabulously
Aw,
BJ. You
thank
were absolutely
you.
awesome and incredible.
Aw,
Yeah.
the check is in the mail. So let's. What happened? Well, you were sitting down one day, and then this idea came to you. What birthed the idea of the marriage?
No, I wasn't sitting down. I was lying in bed. I had, many of you may be familiar with a play which eventually became a film entitled The Visit. And it was based on a true story about my brother that was incarcerated for several years, and he passed away in prison. And I wrote that play, and it was an award-winning play. And after the play, Gene Wilder's nephew, Jordan Walker Perlman, approached me and said, "This has to be a film. This must be a film."
Mm-hmm.
And it was an all-star cast: Billy D. Williams, Felicia Rashad, Marla Gibbs, Oba Babatunde, Hill Harper. Hill Harper to this day says that is the most incredible role he's ever played. So at any rate, after that, and that was the first play I ever wrote, which became a film. After that, I said, I feel that there's a calling on my life for writing, but I have no idea what it is I'm supposed to write, but I want to write another play. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm laying in bed staring at the ceiling, and I hear a voice say, "Write it." And immediately I knew what it was, and I resisted it. I said, no, I struggled. It said, "Write it."
Wow.
I got up, started a pot of coffee, and began to write The Marriage, and it poured out of my soul.
Yes.
That play was written in 1.5 weeks, and you were part of the initial reading at Ted Lange's. Ted Lange from The Love Boat.
Isaac from The Love Boat.
Isaac from The Love Boat. Yes.
All you younger people who remember that.
Yeah. He had directed The Visit, and he agreed to direct The Marriage, and we had the first reading at Ted's house. And I cringed because I said, I wrote it, but that's not it.
Yeah.
So I went back and rewrote it. And 6 months later, we were casting and getting ready for the first run. And that was back in 2000.
Now, were you
That's
married?
amazing.
Yes, I was married, hence The Marriage. It's based on a true story. It's autobiographical. It is my story. Now, back then, I dared not share that this was a true story.
Right.
But what I'm doing now is bringing it out to the world and letting them know that, yes, this stuff really happens. My wife or ex-wife was paranoid schizophrenic. And as a result, I wrote the play, but I didn't want to share or open myself up or be vulnerable and share with them, the skeletons in our closet and in our family, if you will.
And you all have a child together. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Cosman
Absolutely.
Jr.
Cosman Jr.
With
That's
his
my
just handsome self, and he's so smart and intelligent.
Well, he takes after his mother.
I thought you were going to say he takes after his father. Yes, beautiful. Well, and so that means that you do still have a relationship with Cos Jr.'s mom.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And how did she feel when she knew that you wrote this?
She was honored. She still goes through major challenges today. Mm-hmm. And she said, yes, Cosman, let the world know the type of impact and the type of effect that this has on families, that this has on friends, that this has on relationships, and most importantly, on the individual. Oftentimes, the reason we don't talk about it, particularly in the African American community, is because it's stigmatized, because you're labeled and you're looked at as some type of someone that's not normal or crazy. Okay, I'll say that, just crazy. But that's not the case. There's chemical imbalance. I talked to a psychologist and a psychiatrist once, and they said, you know, it is an illness. It is no different than someone having cancer or diabetes or different challenges. It's just that this is the illness that they have. So we have to treat it and deal with it just like people that have other illnesses.
People that have other
illnesses. I applaud you, in addressing a private issue in love and to bringing awareness about it. And I'm curious, so how do you as actors prepare to tackle a subject matter in your role, even if you're not the character with the issue? How do you prepare and to bring it alive and make it look authentic? Because this is on film now.
Yeah. Miss Carly.
Well, since everyone is looking at me,
you're the mama.
Maybe I need to share.
I was looking at Nana. She was looking at.
I know. I noticed that.
She said inherited.
And then Nana's like, "Go, girl.
You got it. This is your question."
But yes, so I do play a character that has paranoid schizophrenia. And the way I have researched it, well, first and foremost, I had a lengthy discussion with Cosman because I wanted to know his story and I wanted to know how he was affected by it. I wanted to know how his wife was, and most importantly, his mother-in-law. I'm playing your mother-in-law. So I want to know about her. And I said, well, I think I called him. I had like 5 minutes of time and we stayed on the phone for about 15, 20 minutes. And I just said, go, just go. Just tell me everything that you think that I should know that could help me with this character. And then I will ask you questions afterwards. And he just gave me everything I needed. Yeah. And then I had to go away for a little while.
On a cruise.
I wasn't going to say that. I
was in Europe. So hold on, wait a minute.
I was
so I get to get one of these roles, and then I have the right to go on a cruise.
Well, no, the cruise was already booked when he cast me in the role. And I was like, I need to tell you, I have this cruise booked, but trust me, I will take my work with me because I'm just going to be on a cruise.
Sure.
So what else is there to do? But whatever I feel like doing, what better place to create and study and learn? No distractions, no phones. I did my social media. That was the most important. But no phones, no texting, nobody to bother me. Sure. I don't do roommates, so I was by myself because I'm not a missus. And
a lot of talking to yourself.
And I was talking to myself in my cabin, and I got a book called Finding Alice about a young lady who has the same disease. And I went on the internet and I read stories of people who have schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, and who have been affected by it, family members that have been affected by it. I didn't do a lot of work on the clinical stuff, the medical stuff. I wanted to get to the core of the people and hear their stories.
Good for you.
And I watched a couple of films with characters that had paranoid schizophrenia, and then I took it from there and I took his words and his story, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on blending it and making it real. I don't want her to be a caricature. Good. I don't want her to be crazy.
Right. And it's interesting that people don't realize that this disease or this mental illness it does pass down from
generation to generation. There's a 10% chance that it can be inherited. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. No, and that was the word I was looking for, inherited. But I was thinking generation to generation.
Absolutely.
But
Now,
it's inherited.
let me just. I'd be remiss not to mention my producing partners.
Yes.
Biblical Film.
How
phenomenal they have been through this journey, because there's a spiritual element. Thank you. There's a spiritual element, a very strong spiritual element to this play. And while what we've been expressing thus far sounds as though it's kind of dark, it's life. The tagline for this play, it's a play about love, life, and mental illness. And through this, you're talking about, this being heaven's party here. You're going to see a lot of partying on the stage.
Right, I remember
a lot of dancing.
that.
Yeah, a lot of dancing. Dawn and Andre Petrie. They are in love.
Yeah.
They are. Well, not literally.
Well, we don't know. They're really good actors. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we'll leave that alone.
They got chemistry.
Bad chemistry.
Andre, Dawn, they trying to throw y'all under the bus, but I'm not going there.
They got chemistry and biology.
Right. So the characters are that they're in love. I'm looking at this here. It said she left Angelique Charles, Don Lewis, comfort home in Philadelphia to marry the man of her dreams, Mike DeMummery. I remember that name because I was like, I'm glad I don't have to keep saying that name. And who played Andre Petrie plays. And in California, and the holy matrimony seems storybook until Angelique's unlikely development of schizophrenia quickly unravels the marriage, challenging a young couple's faith in God, family, and themselves. So we were remiss not to have read that before we started talking about this, because that would have given the audience. Shame on you, girl. All right. So,
pass the buck.
I actually looked at it as we gave them the appetizer, and now we're getting into the meat of the
entree.
No, seriously, because when you're talking about, this is a film and it's entertainment, but at the same time, it's entertainment with a message done in love. And with that being said, this unlikely development of schizophrenia, like I take it when you met your wife, and anyone that may have the trait that may unravel or develop, you can't tell initially. Like how long did you court your wife and date your wife before you married your wife?
Wow.
6 months. And if there's no other message here, and I'm not saying that we would not have moved forward, but you know how you are young, and I wasn't that young, but younger and blissfully in love, and you're tired of not living the life that you want to live. And I was a bit of a partier, and it wasn't the Holy Ghost party then. It was the Lowenbrow, the Michelob, if you will. But I was ready to settle down.
It was a turn-up party.
So when did you find out in the marriage? At what point did she had schizophrenia?
Well, it literally took 3 years for it to be diagnosed, but I knew that something was wrong because she was sleeping a lot, and she was not motivated, and she went through 4 jobs in about a year. And it would always be, they don't like me, they think they're jealous of me, and of course I'm trying to be the supportive husband. Okay, honey, if you don't want to work there, fine, find another job. And she's very charismatic, so she'd always find another job. But after the 4th job, and then other weird things start happening, because if you don't know anything about paranoia, you literally are paranoid. You think you hear voices. Wow. You hear voices, and you think that people that are not in the room are talking to you. I remember one night we were taking a walk, and she said, "Cosman, they're listening to us in that helicopter." Like, what? Yeah. They're listening to us in that helicopter. They can hear everything I'm saying, and I don't appreciate it. Now let's go back in the house. We would go to church sometimes, and she would think that the pastor was saying vulgar things to her from the pulpit. So we went through the series of going in for counseling. She was going in for counseling, and we were just trying to do a diagnosis. Now I think the psychologists and the psychiatrists, they hope and pray that it's not that, because that is one of the most devastating of the mental illnesses. So as they were doing the testing and the therapy and what have you, and after about 2.5 years, I said, it's paranoid schizophrenia.
Okay. And how did you take that news?
Well, I'm a reader and I'm a researcher, so I had been doing my own research, and I had pretty much resigned myself to the fact that I was praying that it wasn't, but I had kind of knew that that's what it was. And I just manned up, as the men do in this play. You know, it's so beautiful. You know, we're oftentimes, particularly in the African American community, the men are always looked at as, oh, you're always running out. You're just a baby daddy. You're not there to provide for your family. You're not equipped. And that, remember that line. If you don't remember anything else, remember the line equipped, or the word equipped, because it's mentioned constantly throughout this play by Lucy's husband, played brilliantly by Richard Gant. He wears it out.
Love me some Richard Gant. Oh, he's such a phenomenal actor and just an awesome guy at the same time. So Richard basically emasculated you. I mean, his character emasculates the mummery.
It was based again on a true story. I flew to Philadelphia from Los Angeles to ask for my as my future father-in-law for my future wife's hand in marriage. And he read me the riot act and told me that basically you're not equipped. I don't want to give it all away.
Sure.
But at the time, I thought he was emasculating me. I thought that he didn't like me. But in retrospect, he knew what was going on. I didn't. Remember, I only knew her for 6 months. He knew what was going on. And he was basically saying, are you ready for the ride, son? Because you're going on a ride, and you've never rode a roller coaster like the roller coaster you about to ride. Now, are you equipped? And are you man enough? And basically come back in 15 years after you marry her and then tell me that you love her. Will you love her? Not do you love her? Will you love her through the trials and the tribulations and the hard time? And again, that's where it goes back to this spiritual journey. And it ends beautifully. You know, I mean, you're going to shed a tear, but God is all throughout it. And like I said, partnering with biblical films on this and bringing that strong spiritual element that Lamont Coleman and Rosemary and Denver and Isaiah contributes.
I love
them. Oh, man, what a spiritual family. What's up, Lamont? Lamont's my frat brother. Roof, Omega Psi Phi.
That's right. That's our woo. Well, you know what? I want to talk about the fact that, and address it, because, you know, it's a beautiful story, but in real life, the marriage ended. And so how do you reconcile when you're talking to your audience, or when you're even mentioning something, like sometimes marriage just don't work out? Or what could you add to encourage someone who may be even going through, maybe not because of a mental illness, maybe they feel their significant other is crazy, but it's other reasons, and they're finding a hard time to find a love in spite of whatever the issue is? Because it seems like you loved her in spite of her issue, and you did a lot to be there to be there for her. It's like unconditional love, which seems to be in rare supply these days.
I'm still there for her today. I just spoke with her a couple of weeks ago, and spoke with her sister-in-law, came in from Johannesburg. I mean, her sister, my sister-in-law, came in from Johannesburg a couple of days ago. And, you know, her and I connected. So we're still very much family, but sometimes, as we know, life happens, and the relationship ended. But I live by a simple but profound rule. It's the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Life is not as complex as we try to make it. It really isn't. It's all about love.
Yes, it is. And so let's talk to you, Nana, because we don't know exactly what your role is in all of this. What character again, and what does she do?
Well, again, I'm Kelly Charles, the cousin of Don Lewis's character, Angelique. And basically with my role, I end up becoming a doctor. So my heart is to actually help the family and get more involved medically and to kind of understand like what's going on genetically and just everything going on with Angelique and Lucy. So, yeah, that would be.
Are you married in the film?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah.
Are you married in real life?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if where the platform
Don't
is.
make the child cry now.
Well, you know why? Because I'm like, for the social media platform, I was curious. And are you, because if it's one thing I know people love to talk about is engaging in discussion about relationships. Yes. And a guy who's in your play, he used to post a lot of things to get the dialogue started, and
I
and
know who that is.
Yes. So you know, like Guy Williams. So
Guy Williams,
right?
3 times married guy. I'm sorry.
Wait, no. Oh, another guy. Oh, no, another guy. We know. No. He does that too. No, you know, because he put his business out there too.
That's true.
So, no, he's talking about.
Are we gossiping on gossip?
No, we're not.
Wait, this done turned into gossip.
No, it isn't. Carl is 3 times married guy. You crazy lady. No, but I said Guy Williams, and
You know
because
what?
we're getting everything crossed.
Girl, because we have a Guy Williams in Ferguson. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
But basically,
I
it's
just
like
messed up everything.
we don't women, but it's like no matter. It's no matter. It doesn't matter what side of the relationship coin you are on. It seems like a platform that we all kind of gravitate to, because the single people want to hear what the married people got to say. The married people got to hear what the single people got to say.
Yeah,
And some of the issues they cross the line. It's like would you if your man didn't work, would you stay with him, or all the conditions
for how long? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I was curious. Are you?
I'm just saying what they would say.
Are you doing any?
Trying to get the conversation
Yeah,
started
exactly.
with people
Yeah,
with their
I'm gonna help you
own-
out, sis.
Really-
All right,
thank
girl, I got
with
you.
their
The
own
girls
relationships
coming through. Praise Jesus.
and mental illness.
Their debut. Gospel Rhythms. We got gossiping and girls coming through. All right, go ahead.
LOL.
No, for instance, this was guy. He said, if a man's mother or sister doesn't like the woman he's dating, should you stop seeing her? Like questions like that to engage.
If a man's mother or sister
doesn't like the woman he's dating, should he stop seeing her? Like
no. Because they're not the ones dating her.
Okay, but in relation to this to this film project, it's like if you find out your wife has a mental illness or your husband has a mental illness, would it be deuces?
But hey, how deep is your love?
I know that's what I'm trying to. We're talking about here.
Right? How deep is your love?
Okay, first I want to clarify that this is a play. It's a 2-act stage play taking place October 8th.
What you trying to say?
No, because she had mentioned film. She had mentioned film, and I think
she's prophesying.
Oh, okay.
The film was on.
No, but I thought they filmed this as well. So
no,
that's okay.
But you know what? We're speaking that like we're gonna speak life into this. That is going to be a film.
Yes.
So what was the question again?
I could be your
can address it.
cousin
What was
on
the
the
question
other side
again?
of the family.
What was the question?
You were asking about social media. Are we using social media to promote the discussion about the issues in the play?
Right. That's right. That's what the
and
question
in this
was.
case, would someone, if you're in a relationship and you commit to a marriage and you find out this person has a disease, mental disease, do you stay or do you go?
It depends upon your character. I mean, you individually, your character. What is your makeup? Because one thing for sure, you're never going to have a perfect marriage.
Can you say that again? I think they need to hear that.
never going to have a perfect marriage. Never. And we address those issues profoundly in this play. Love is about commitment. Love is about compromise. Love is marriage as a commitment, compromise. It's a covenant. It's a promise. You're not just promising your spouse. You're promising your creator. You're promising your heavenly Father.
Come on, Cosmo.
That's what you're doing. Yes. That's what the play is all. That's what marriage is all about. Yes. And oftentimes people get into marriage, and if they don't get the dinners that they want, or the cars that they want, or the stuff, the material things, then they're ready to run. Well, that's not love. That's being opportunistic.
Right.
So
some people get married just so they can have sex.
Absolutely.
Without getting in trouble.
Absolutely.
And that's not good.
One of the lines that Richard Gant says is, what happens when the storms come? What happens when laying down with her isn't as much fun or enjoyment as the first time you laid down with her? What you not going to do? Get up and run? No, this is a life journey. It's about till death do us part. Now, it doesn't always end up that way, but that's the promises and the covenant with which you bring to the table. And that's what that marriage is sacred. It's absolutely sacred.
That's the love story.
Yes, that's the love story.
And that's great. And then you're dealing with it. So it's like a roller coaster ride.
Absolutely.
But I love what he said, though. It's not that deep. It's before the I do. It's about how you treat each other. And that's kind of part of the, not just the physical attraction, but just the intimacy that grew and developed, that is not necessarily sex related, but that grew to, like he listens to me, or my he cares about the littlest concern, and he makes me feel comfortable and confident in my own skin. Those sort of things that are the awesome takeaways that draws you to a person. But what about when you're in a marriage and you have a mother-in-law and a situation that I don't know if in your real life situation or in the play she was a dividing force, or you have other family members that may not, they be in your ear saying, man, you better bail.
She can only divide you if you allow her to. That's the only way you can be divided. If the two of you are committed to one another, if the two of you are devoted, if you understand what marriage is all about, one thing for sure, to use the vernacular of today's language, there will always be a lot of haters. It can be your mother-in-law, it can be your sister and brother-in-law, it can be your girlfriend. A lot of people aren't pleased when they see that you're happy and blissful. Right. So you have to stand together and know why you're together, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. I mean, hang in there. Hang in there.
Let's talk statistics. I see here that it says today 1 in 6.5 Americans suffer from some form of mental illness. And I believe, just from your description of schizophrenia, that depression goes hand in hand with schizophrenia, just because you said she slept all day. Usually that's a depression order or a depression sign. Symptom. Thank you. And it says bipolar disorder, anxiety, schizophrenia. 1 out of 5 African Americans suffer from these disorders. So, wow, that's a high number.
May I share something with you? It was just blew me away, and you can have the other lady or the other performers chime in on this. Yeah. When we had our table read, a table read is when the entire cast and the company, the people that's working behind the scenes, just everyone that is involved with mounting the production, when we had our first meeting and read through of the script, I asked everyone in the room to state their name, what part they were playing in the play or the production, and if they could share with us if they had a family member or a friend or a close associate that suffered from any mental illness. There were 30 people in the room. 28 people in the room had very close proximity, if you will. Yeah. And we're talking about some of their mothers. In many instances, there were more than one family member. We had people that opened up and said that they had siblings commit suicide. Oh, wow. And tears were flowing all throughout the room. And that's when I realized, oh no, this isn't a play. This isn't entertainment. Mm-hmm. This is a movement, and this is a ministry, and this is a call to action to get people to start coming out from under the rug and treating this like it's a stigma, and start talking about it, because people need help. And I'll charge a lot of people to do this as well. Oftentimes when we see individuals on the street and they're talking to themselves, the first oftentimes reaction is lazy, drop out of society, just didn't want to pay any taxes. Why don't you go out there and get a job? I guarantee you that a major percentage of them out there are running from the voices in their head, have gone through bipolar, have gone through some type of depression. So I charge you to do this. Not always, because some of them are scamming. But when the Spirit of the Lord comes over you, you'd be surprised what $2 or $3 would do. You'd be surprised. Amen. 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 You'd be surprised what a hamburger will do, a cold drink. I was sharing with my cast the other day that I was at Newport Beach. I'm a beach bum. I love when I need to go and meditate, I go to the beach. And I was at the beach a few weeks ago, and there was a young brother. He looked like he was no more than 30, and he was sitting down on a bench, and he was dejected. He didn't even have the energy to beg or ask. And I saw and the Spirit of the Lord came over me and said, bless him. I handed that young man a $5 bill, and you would have thought that I just gave him a Bentley. That brother was overjoyed.
And it's like random acts of love and kindness. I manage property, and so one morning I got up to make a run, and there was a young guy, probably in his 30s, sleeping like in the little alleyway behind my building with a blanket over him. At the time, I didn't know what race or anything that he was, but I knew that as a manager, he has to leave the property. But I picked him up breakfast, because one thing if you are sleeping on the ground and outside, you can't be in your right mind, because who would want to do that? Then you go home to your warm bed and your roof over your head, even if you happen to be, courtesy of your car, lease is paid for, you're paying for, you have some shelter around you, where some people are just, and I woke him up, and, I explained to him, hey, I bought you breakfast. And I just spoke encouraging words in life, because even if they're not all there, everybody understands the universal language of love.
Absolutely.
Well, now my experience yesterday was different, because I left the gym. I drive around the corner and I see this lady, and she had a bunch of bags. I think I did, because I was hurt. I see her, and she had all these bags in this cart, and she's in the garbage. I was like, you know what? I'm hungry. Let me go Chick-fil-A, get a sandwich, and get her something. I go Chick-fil-A, get mine. I get hers. I come right back around. I was like, I hope she's still there. And she was still there. I was like, yay, thank you, Jesus. She's still there. And so I pulled up, I rolled down the window, and I said, ma'am.
She might have been a vegetarian.
And I was like, ma'am. I didn't get cheese, though. And I said, ma'am. And then she said, I am not your ma'am. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry, sis. I am not your sis. I said, okay, well, listen, I just wanted to give you some food. I don't want your food. And so now here we're dealing with a mental disorder, and I understood what it was, so I immediately went into praying. I was like, well, I plead the power of the blood of Jesus, against any demonic spirits, anything negative. Let her accept this food. No, she didn't take the sandwich, girl. She said, she went into a whole nother voice. She said, you get out of here right now. I do not want your food. I did not ask you for your food. And I was like, okay.
May I chime in on that?
I wanted to cry. I was like, I just want to feed her.
You about to get therapy.
But I understand from what we're discussing. I get it.
Oh, yes, but let me chime in on this. And again, this is real. My ex-wife, I would go looking for her. She was a bag lady. Yeah. She was homeless. She was on the streets, and I could never understand it, because I'd find her and I'd provide shelter for her, and the next day she's running out. Wow. I have a friend who was a police officer in a city that for whatever reason she chose to frequent. So I said, keep an eye on her and make sure that she's provided for. And so he would find her, and he keep an eye on her. And he told me a couple of occasions where someone came to hand her money, and she would throw it in their face. So here's the thing we can do. We cannot control anyone else's actions or response. But again, golden rule, as long as we follow our heart and know that we extended love, then how they receive it, that's on them. Awesome. And here's something. Oftentimes, and I'm sure he doesn't want me to say it, but there's a psychologist, and after going through 3-4 years of this journey with my ex-wife, little Cosman,
yes,
her and my son, him and his mother were missing for 4 days. You're talking about somebody going crazy and crying. I had no idea where they were. Again, that's in the play. Okay.
Yeah.
And when they found them, she was just totally out of control. But here's the point I'm really trying to make.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're hearing up there.
That's true.
And
she might have thought I was trying to hurt her.
Absolutely.
Or someone else.
Because of the paranoia, sometimes
Yes.
they believe that people are trying to poison them through food. That's why they don't eat and they get thin. And that's what I learned from reading the book that I was reading.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't know. They're hearing. They don't trust anyone.
Right.
Anyone. And anything you do that you think is an act of kindness to them, they think you might be trying to set them up or hurt them or poison them or kill them.
Yeah.
Well, particularly when they're not taking their medication.
Well, I was about to ask you about the
Yes.
medication. So how, like, if she was on it for a while and came off of it, how long, when she was off of it, did it last before the schizophrenia started to kick in
Well,
again?
here's the thing. It's trial and error, just like we go to the doctor for different ailments, and they say, well, let's try this. Oh, well, that didn't work. Well, let's try this. Oh, that didn't work. Well, let's try this. Oh, that was working for a while, but it's not working anymore. So different medications she had or that she was taking would work for a while, and then for whatever reason, it wouldn't. And then, too, here's the thing. Their desire is to be normal. They don't want, like Lucy's character say, I am not a mouse. Carlise is a character.
Yeah.
They just want to be normal. They want to be treated like everyone else. So guess what? I would say at least 50% of people that deal with mental illness, guess what they do? They stop taking their medication.
Yeah.
I'm not the crazy one. You're the crazy one.
So they're in denial.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, that's a rough road. How long did you deal with it before you and your wife got a divorce?
We didn't get a divorce right away, but we lived together for 13 years. And then there were, and that was like 1 year after I knew that there was stuff. There were times, well, I don't want to give away too much. It's in the play.
It's in the play. Listen, because we got to wrap out all the information.
Cosmond.com. www.cosmond.com or call the West Angeles Performing Arts Center 323-733-8707.
It's October 8th.
733-8707. October 8th. 2 performances only. Oh, and I'd be remiss. Mark Panther Felton. He's the incredible. If you think Dave Koz is an incredible saxophone player, this boy Panther's a bad boy. He's a bad boy, and he's doing the pre-show music and all of the music for transit. I had lunch with him today. Beautiful brother and phenomenally talented.
So someone is not in California and is interested in connecting with you or even being able to preview it. They may want to bring it to their town. They may want to bring it to their church. Like, how would they get in touch?
Email me at KOSRussell, RUSSELL at MSN.com. KOSRUSSELL at MSN.com. And go to www.cosmond. That's Cosmond with a K.
KOSMOND.
Yes, KOSMOND.com.
All right, so real quick, because Christopher Richards, who says he didn't want to get on camera, he is not only the baddest stage manager, along with Anthony Kenny, stage manager ever.
Yeah. Come on over here, guys.
Say hi.
Stage manager.
You guys come say hi. Christopher's in it. Chris, what role do you play? Just bend down real quick.
I actually play Steve. Yes. I play Steve in the show. Hey, what's up? In the show, and we're having a good time. I mean, I'm actually one of Mike's DeMumry's friends. That and did you have a lot of stand-up comedian friends? Yeah.
I used to do stand-up comedy. So.
What?
Clowning.
So, but we're having a good time with Anthony Kennebrew backstage holding it down. So we look forward to seeing everybody on the 8th of October to come and see this real event, because definitely mental illness is something that we do need to start talking about and stop ignoring the facts.
Covenant, as well as the covenant and promises of marriage. The commitment of marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Anthony Kennebrew, Yeah, you guys got to come on. We got to do a
Yeah,
man
we
talk
can do
about
some
that.
man
We're
talking.
gonna do a man talk
Okay.
edition on the schizophrenia and relationships and things. So Anthony Kennebrew, who's also stage managing our show, Ferguson the Musical, talk to me and tell me what your experience with this production with Cosmo Russell and the crew.
It's been wonderful. We've had a couple of rehearsals. We had a run through of Act Two last night, the Nate Holden. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, timing was down. It was good.
Beautiful.
It's impeccable. I mean, I'm actually juggling 3 projects, but I'm blessed.
You are. You go in.
Trinity.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, so I'm
Trinity.
blessed.
He's always juggling multiple projects. Is this what is this show number 533
These
for
two,
you?
let me tell you something. We're about to start the show last weekend. These two are up in the booth. No, we got to push that button. No, I don't think it's right. No, I'm like, hi guys. We're about to start this show. Could you guys not do this? But it was fun because they have such a great relationship.
Lots of
but
fun.
you guys work so well together. Thank you for being amazing stage managers.
Teamwork.
And this phenomenal actor right here. I tell him he's an actor too. Anthony Kennebrew really is an actor. He really is.
Yes.
Director, all of that. So listen, guys, you've got to go see The Marriage, okay? Once again, all tickets $40. And really, that's not much. I mean, if you went to go see a movie and take somebody out to
they're 32.
dinner,
We've reduced the price.
Look,
$32.
You see how God just blessed us right now
$32.
with a $32 ticket. That's just a beautiful thing. So anyway, open seating, first come, first served. Every seat is a good seat. For more information, play and tickets, please visit www.cosmond.com. And it's at West Angeles, 3020 Crenshaw Boulevard. So to all of our people in Africa, Germany, Australia, all across this entire wonderful globe, we just thank you all for joining in. And South America and Asia, just everywhere here in America. You have something else to say, my
Yeah,
brother.
I just want to make sure that you also connect with my business partners, my producing partners, but just Google biblical films. Biblical films.
We've had them here in the house.
Yes, and you
on
know
a number
what?
of projects.
I'm gonna tell you what he forgot. But what I remember, the story I told at the beginning about how the window opened and the birdie came through, that was not the marriage. That was for the visit.
That was for the
And
visit, absolutely. And it's a true story.
It's a true story as well, the one that became a film, and Ray Don Chong played my role in her beautiful self. It's okay, I love you anyway. That's what happens.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was such a good, so if you guys can find the DVD, go get
I
the
actually wrote it down. I'm going to check
and
it out.
watch Ray Don Chong and Billy D. Williams.
Which get your Netflix and chill on.
And Marla Gibbs, and they all killed it. But again, support him. We need support out here for our directors, writers, producers. Pichanda Dubose needs support as well, because Ferguson's going to go up in other places as well as this. And we're looking for the film of all these productions. So you guys, please be a blessing. And we thank you. We thank you so much. Brittany Keys, Cosmin Russell, Carlise, I got to get your last name, girl, Burke, and Nana Za. And Carlise is on a television show, or she just finished shooting. What was it?
I did. I just finished one season of NBC's Crowded.
Hilarious.
So I look forward to the next season.
Yes. We're so proud of you. God bless you all. I wish you all the best. Everyone out there, God bless you. And if you know someone with a mental disorder, an illness, please pray for them. Please try to get them help. Go find the nearest counseling or whatever you can do to get them medication and help, and love on them, because they need you. They need your love.
Amen.
All right. So
Follow us
we,
on Twitter.
Trisha,
Roe
Grant, and
Williams.
Roe Williams and Gospel Rooms. We'll see you next week. God bless you.
What you know about the Gospel Rhythms magazine? For God's in it, you don't gotta chase dreams. You need to check us out and see what we mean.
Catch the vision.
Okay.
It's party. Make it play. Gospel rhythms. Catch the vision. It's party. Here on earth.
We got spoken word and actors and business owners, playwrights and pastors and many gifts to encourage the body. Consider this an invitation, come and kick it and party. We're evolving the way we deliver the gospel. Same message, different method, redefined apostles. And through Christ we're empowered to shine. Everybody's VIP, ain't no way in the line. GospelRhythms.com. We make the word jam, the beat to which we live. We about to take the land. Let them know about Jesus, the anointed one. Gave us power and authority to get it done. He opens doors, so you don't gotta kick them down. I wrote this to remind you. So stick around for heaven party here on earth. Praise God always, and we keeping them first.
Gospel rhythms, catch the vision. Heaven's party here on earth. Make it play. Gospel rhythms, catch the vision. Heaven's party here on earth. Here on earth. Gospel rhythms, we make the world.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, and crafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.